Well, good morning from the ridge.
Good morning.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous out.
It is.
I mean, it's cloudy and overcast, but the temperature is perfect.
Yeah. I actually came out this morning expecting that cold chill this morning and had my heavy coat on, a blanket wrapped around me, and nope, didn't need it.
Yeah, I walked out in a t-shirt. She's all hooded up and like she's in the dead of winter. I'm like, what are you doing? That just doesn't even look right.
No, but now it is gorgeous. And we just finished morning chores and we've got such a busy day ahead of us. We have the next several days that are going to be extremely busy getting ready for our trip to Tennessee. We're going to bring you all along with us. So cameras are going, computers going, all the above so that we don't miss a beat. And maybe y'all will get to meet my daddy and some of my other friends from Tennessee, as well as, we're not sure. So it's going to be an exciting time. Very rarely in my past has it been a year since I've been back home. Like, that's extremely rare. So it's long overdue.
Yeah, and we were kind of talking about it over the last couple days of plotting and planning and everything. It was like, yeah, wow, it's been a year, almost to the day, really. Like, it was, I think, April sometime last year. We'd have to go back and look, but yeah, it's...
Oh, it was March. It was March that Aunt Willa had her surgery, that I went to take care of her. And then, but this is about almost the exact time you and Jake took off to go up north for a supply run to get stuff out of the storage unit, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah, because we had gone up.
We'd gone up for James.
I think that was the trip that we'd gone up for James. That was the last minute. We came back, and then Jake and I turned around and went up because we had to move the big motor coach.
No.
Yeah, we were going to move it. We were going to move it to Zach's, and we made it to the storage. Well, we made it to my brother's. And then my brother was able to move it to the storage unit. But
that's right.
Jake and I were able to get everything out of our Michigan storage unit. And we picked up the other grill.
You're right.
And then we went to Ohio and we took everything we could fit from there. Like, so that one is still there. One of the next trips up, we're going to have to
clear that one out.
Figure out what, whatever's in there. We're just going to have to make a determination of, hey, is it going to go? Is it not? But yeah, that was that trip. So
crazy how fast time goes.
It's that time of year though too where, we can start making trips up north, but I think right now, honestly, probably the first trip we're going to make up north isn't going to be till July.
Yeah.
Just because with everything going on, like we've got the meetups coming up, plus, what we need to get done around the ridge here.
We've got to get back on the YouTube studio. Like, I can't believe how it's not up yet. Like, it was supposed to be up by now, and it's not. And I guess that's wishful thinking on our part, but also maybe overestimating our abilities.
Well, somebody may or may not have added more animals, and that took some building time.
There was that too, wasn't there?
Yeah, so there's that.
Forgot about that. I hope it don't start raining while we're out here, because it looks like it could.
I know. I didn't think they were calling for it today, but I don't know. The cloud said, hey, there might be a chance, but
yeah,
that'll be okay. It's been a little while. Like, we drove down, not last night, I think the night before. We got done working, doing everything, and it was like, cold snacks at the creek. And it was awesome. Having that trail cleared for the side-by-side for us to easily just run down there. And then we were able to just kind of sit and relax and plot and plan future projects, when we get some of these other ones done. But it was awesome. But the creek's drying up, it's seasonal. It's based off the rain. And this year, I don't know what the numbers are, but I just know that we've gotten a lot less rain this year than, which I'm not complaining, because last year during this time, it was
like we would just get dried out and then poof.
Every 2 days it was rain, and then it'd be back-to-back days. And So it's nice, but it's time. We've gotten stuff.
The garden is looking good.
Yeah, the garden, we've got those things kind of situated. There's some still more to be done to it, obviously.
I felt a raindrop.
Um,
Unless you spit on me.
Probably. But yeah, you've got all the plants. Well, other than some seedlings still. There's still quite a few trays of seedlings, but
The only thing I have planted outside of what was already planted that we brought out of the greenhouse was peas and beans. That's all that I actually have planted since we got all the lick tubs into place. But y'all, I don't have enough lick tubs. Yeah, but we need to get on that. We've got to get the water irrigation system. It's just going to be a next busy 4 days to get ready for Tennessee, to have everything kind of in place. And y'all have been really supportive. And I can't remember if it was on the main channel or this channel, but the comments, like, give yourself a little grace. It's just 1 week. But it could be more than a week. We don't know. It depends on my dad's surgery. And there's even been discussions that we might have to go straight from Tennessee to Oklahoma for the 10-killer meetup and completely not even hit home. So we have to think about that. But we're only going to be home 2 or 3 days before we have to leave out again for Oklahoma if we're on our normal timeline. So it just kind of compounds as it goes. So
yeah, and the kids will be here. That's been a big question. Was how does it get taken care of? Like, we're gonna put all this in. The kids are here. Jake and Jenna. Jenna's been coming out
every day,
and learning, like, hey, this is how to water. This is because I mean there is a good way and a bad way of doing it, and how much to water, what to look for, like how do you know if it needs water, and then the animal care.
What she grew up doing, the only difference is goats. I never had goats before, but she did have hogs. In fact, the first two hogs were hers. So she's not unfamiliar.
Well, I think she's got the animal part down pretty well. Like, she loves going over there, and she brings her friends over, and I'm like, where are they at? And they're over by the goat pen or watching the bunnies. And so speaking of bunnies,
yes,
yesterday we finally, it's only, like probably two or three weeks behind. We finally dispatched, we got the older. And
Jenna did 2 of them.
They're in, well, not freezer camp yet. They're having their ice bath.
Yeah, they're going to canning camp. But Jenna had a couple of her guy friends over, and from what I was told, because I was actually editing while they were dispatching, Jenna, she did dispatch and skin out 2 of them.
Well, she did the skin out, so I did all the dispatch part, and then the last 2, Jenna skinned it, did the whole 9 yards on that one.
And the guys did it.
Yeah, her friends, they were hilarious because they're like, yeah.
They wanted to be here though.
Yeah, they enjoyed watching, like, at least being part of it there. They were running the hose, washing things off for us and helping in that aspect. But, and we know it's not for everybody. And I don't expect it to be.
And we don't record that. We did do, last year, we did a kind of a tutorial when we went to Tilted K, and I was teaching them how to butcher chickens. So that one we did a little bit more recording on so that people could see. But for some reason, even though bunnies are a viable food option on homesteads everywhere, people don't like to see it because they get the warm and fuzzies over the bunnies, and we do too. And we don't ever take our animals for granted, and we do it in the most humanely way possible. It's just a part of homesteading, so we don't record it. We didn't record it.
Yeah, there's just some things, and I mean, honestly, like we talk about, hey, there's people that don't like it, and it's mostly our family and like our grandkids and stuff. We remind ourselves that we do these videos, and we had quite a long conversation yesterday. And it was a really good reminder because, like, we say it to ourselves all the time, but then when we're talking to other people, you know, the whole point and purpose of us starting this YouTube journey, you know, with the main channel, you know, and then progressing into the second channel is it's a video history of our lives, what we're doing, and something that, you know, our grandkids can go back, you know, because once they're old enough and can be able to like come visit on their own or do that, but that's a lot of years away, and we might not be as active then, who knows. But it's a cool,
or we might not even be here.
Yeah,
you know, it's just a chapter that our great grandkids can get to know us through.
But getting that reminder that that's why we're doing it, and being able to step back and, you know, really great conversation, and just a more amazing reminder of, hey, this is what you're doing it for. So there's things that we don't put on here, and a lot of it is that, like, honestly, you know, people outside of, you know, like our grandkids or something that are offended by it, then just don't watch the video. That's fine. We typically, if it is going to be something that's graphic, we're going to put a disclaimer ahead of it, and that way, if somebody doesn't want to watch that, then fine.
Now, if we were one of those DIY channels where, you know, the difference between what we're doing and what like somebody else might do, and they're completely step-by-step instructions because they're a professional, you know, and that's kind of what they do, and it's a teaching channel. You know, ours isn't a teaching channel, so the benefit for us to show certain parts of things just aren't because
the format set up and everything for like a DIY or how-to channel
is a lot more professional.
Like to show you the steps. And we're not saying that there's not going to be videos at some point that we're like, hey, this is exactly, you know, how we do it. I mean, there is the realm, like on this channel, where she puts the, you know, cooking stuff on.
Yeah.
But when it comes to building and that kind of stuff, it's just like, we'd rather take you along for the journey. I don't know, for us it's more exciting just to watch it being built, because everybody has so many different ways of building it. You know, and if it was something that we designed that was like, hey, here's something we hadn't seen before, then maybe we'll throw it on there. But, you know, in the end, it's just a well, I guess what you call a vlog. Yeah,
you know?
it's a
video diary of our lives.
Right. And that's awesome, and we're loving it. And
I do want to bring up one point, well, not a point, but maybe a reminder for those that are only subscribed to the Coffee Chat with Chickens channel. If you don't know, we do have a main channel called White Rock Homestead, and I know there was a comment on the last video that they were upset that all we were doing is coffee chats here at Coffee Chat with Chickens, and they will be back to our channel when we actually do some work. And at first I was just like, what? It's the whole name of the channel is Coffee Chat with the Chickens. But then it dawned on me, you know, I'm not upset about it at all, because there could be some of you guys that found us through Coffee Chat with the Chickens, and you don't know that we have over 200 plus videos on our main channel at White Rock Homestead that shows us working. We actually do work. So I apologize if you did not understand the second channel aspect, but we do work. We just put them all on the main channel. So just a reminder, if you haven't checked us out, go over and check us out there. I take for granted that all y'all came here from the other channel, when you really, maybe not, maybe you didn't. So we appreciate you guys all being here, but if you want to see us do something more than talk, bop over to White Rock Homestead.
And it's the balance between the two channels. You know, this gives us our, you know, like daily or almost daily, whatever, just word vomit, right? We can just come on here, we can blab about whatever comes to our brain. And, you know, a lot of people go to the homesteading channel to see the homestead being built or homestead things, you know, gardening.
Yeah, they don't want to hear all the talky on the other channel.
Right.
A little bit, yeah.
And, you know, so just kind of keep with both people, and we feel more comfortable doing it on this platform, vice the other one. just because we know that people come to the homestead, they're like, hey, if you want to just talk about it, that's great, but we want to see some action. So
yeah,
it's a multifaceted, you know, there's more words to that. I don't even remember.
Is there a bug on my back?
No.
Okay.
Little piece of fuzz.
Oh. I keep looking off because, like, we have a little audience inside. Charles is angry. We have the camera out and he can't be a part of it. And I'm waiting on him to tip over the ring light.
Yeah. Well, we open the windows because, I mean, it's obviously a beautiful day, and it's not to a point where, you know, we're not ready to fire up the air conditioner. That's just crazy. So with weather like this, and it's great that we have like windows on all sides to where we can
planned it that way.
Yeah. The only thing that we really probably should go get here soon is the screen door for the slider.
Yes.
Coming out of the kitchen. It didn't
come with one, and it's a special order, or it's a special size because we had to go with a much smaller slider. So I don't even know if it's like on the shelf size.
Yeah, we'd have to look.
We definitely I want a screen door because.
Well, we need it. I mean, with it being the kitchen, and until we get the outdoor kitchen, you know, built and done, which, yep, add that to the list of things. You know, a lot of the cooking and you know,
I'll be doing it in, you know,
it's all going to happen in the house, and you know, so it's going to make the kitchen, which has the slider and 2 windows, so it's the more susceptible to the sun and the heat anyways. And then you fire up the stove or the oven and it warms it up.
I mean, if I have to can on the camp stove again, like I did last year, I made it work. I canned everything outside last year.
And I think the benefit with that even is going to be we can set that up here on our existing porch. We might have to move a few things around, but we can do that same setup here.
Yeah,
and
I always make it work.
Right.
It's always about being fluid, and I like that, that more... I don't want to say primitive style because our ancestors didn't have, you know, Coleman camp stoves. But, you know, there was, when we were down at the creek yesterday, was it yesterday, the day before? Whatever.
Day before.
You know, it reminds me when we go down there of what I truly, really, really honestly wanted. And that was a little cabin nestled in that creek. Or, you know, I mean, even before we bought the land, this was my dream. And without the hustle and bustle of electronics and that simple, very, very, you know, you don't even have the hum of the electrical stuff. Because there is a hum. Like, anytime you electrify anything, there's a hum, whether you're acknowledging it or not, or hearing it or not. But that messes with you. That's why it's so peaceful being out in nature. And, you know, I would love to have enough stuff from the garden canned over the next couple years to where I don't have to do a garden, and we can just pack up in the spring and just go live at the creek off, you know, completely off grid for a whole summer. And, you know, I mean, have a couple container tomatoes for that daily thing. Maybe take down like 4 birds so that we have fresh eggs, and only come up topside for supplies like once a month or something, you know, and just live that completely simple life. And going down to the creek, it reminds me every day that would just be so awesome.
Yeah, and that's that
TVs.
was something through that conversation down there that we had talked about, was like, if we could get to the point, like she said, of go a year, like maybe we garden for, like, do a year on, year off garden, where, hey, we garden this year and we do a lot, and it's, you know, a hot and heavy garden, and then the next year, you know, we only maybe do a couple, 2, 3 plants for, you know, those instantly fresh potatoes or tomatoes, zucchini.
One of those toes.
You know, something like that, to where you could still get some of those fresh vegetables. But then if you have everything else that's canned or preserved or anything, then, you know, we run off that for a year, and then it frees us up for being able to go down to the creek and spend a month, or we take a vacation, you know, and then the only thing that's left up here topside would be, hey, you know, feed in the animals, because we'd still want those. And it might be a cycle where it's like, okay, we even, other than chickens, we kind of, hey, we'll stop everything else for now, and We'll get back into it when we come back. And I think
I don't know.
yeah, it's kind of a toss up too, and a benefit with doing something like that, because we've talked and everybody that, we're friends with that's homesteading, is we do a lot of exchanges of the animals here and there. Like, hey, can we carry this genealogy on? Can we mix up, right? Like we've talked, obviously this last batch, we didn't swap any with Eric and Missy.
We were going to, it just
right.
time.
But we have another batch right behind them. So it's one of those that we can do a swap with them. And then even if, we decide to get completely out of it, we're like, okay, great. We'll just wait for them to have a couple more litters, with knowing they can switch up genes, and we'll just get a couple more does and we can kind of trade back and forth to allow one another to be able to do things like that. And now that Ryan and Jess are kind of getting a little more developed at their place, even in getting them involved with it.
Yeah, because he's growing a lot of stuff that we don't grow. So he actually even offered me a couple rows, because they have flat land over where they're at. But that would just be really, really hard to drive that every day to tend to the garden. So I don't know. There might be some berry bushes or something I want to plant.
Well, and there's something that we had talked about with that, like with Ryan, and we're gonna, you guys seen that we did the, not really chicken tractor, right? But we have a chicken run, whatever you want to call it, and a not mobile at the moment chicken tractor for the meat birds. And obviously the best way of growing out your meat birds is putting them in a chicken tractor and moving it day to day so that they're on fresh ground and all that kind of stuff. Well, we don't have the open space or really the ground to do that, but Ryan and them do. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to test this with this batch of birds. We're testing it out here, and we're going to see, like, is this really a good way of doing it? Right now, they're doing great.
Yeah.
And we've got some improvements we want to make, with the feeders and waters. But that's something that we've talked with Ryan of, like, hey, we'll provide the feed. We'll split, the birds, however we split them up.
And he just runs them over there.
He runs the tractors on his ground, which he wants to get more fertilized anyways. And it's flat. Like, his ground promotes doing the chicken tractors the way that they're designed to be done. Just like Eric does over there. He's got really flat ground, but with Ryan and Jess being so much closer, I think that's a more feasible option.
It's hard for me because I've always grown my own chickens.
Well,
and so there's that selfish part of me that's just like, I want to grow my own chickens, but I also see what Jason is saying and Ryan is saying too. So, we don't know. I mean, we're doing it. And
and it's all, I mean, right now, a lot of this, I mean, granted, we have experience in growing food and the animals and that kind of stuff, but we don't have experience, enough. I mean, we're learning every year and every day of what it's like to grow down here.
Yeah.
The summers and the sun being so much hotter.
I have yet to have a successful spring crop. I don't know how people are doing spring crops unless they're planting like in November, October, because it goes from those cold snaps to brutally hot, and all of the spring crops go to bolt. I know people do it, and I just haven't. Like my cabbage is just like, it's
and I think that those are things that, as we make the upgrades, and especially with the greenhouse, like the cattle panel greenhouse is working amazing. It is, but for longevity and making
a seed house, like more of a structure that I can heat.
It needs to be less maintenance, but more longevity. And so we have plans in the works.
Y'all know how that goes.
but there will be, probably not this year per se, maybe over winter.
I would don't stick a timeline on it, baby.
I'm just saying
don't do it.
There's going to be upgrades coming to that. And there's a lot of things that have to happen to make that work. But we've at least discussed it. And I think that's the most important part for us is, okay,
the possibilities.
What does this look like? Like, okay, we've done this and it works great. Mm-hmm. And, if you need a greenhouse put up, and you don't want to spend a bunch on lumber, you don't want to do all these things, a cattle panel greenhouse is an amazing, quick way.
It's the way to go, yeah.
Very inexpensive when you look at the size of the building that you can get. Yeah, we're getting sprinkles.
It's getting sprinkles.
So I would still highly recommend it. I'm not saying that we wouldn't do them again.
I want to keep it even if we do build a more permanent greenhouse structure, because it's a fluid process. So each one would have its own purpose. But yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it up because it is gonna start raining.
But we've got stuff to do today too, guys.
We do.
So we hope that you have an amazing day.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what is today. Is today's? It's Sunday according to that. We don't even know what day of the week it is, y'all.
I thought it was like Monday.
So.
Oh wait, no, Monday's the big eclipse day.
Yeah, tomorrow's the big eclipse.
Whatever that is. We're not leaving the homestead, so.
We'll enjoy the view from our porch.
Yeah, because we are in almost absolute totality.
Yeah.
Where we're at, and they're bringing in just, y'all have seen everything. I ain't even gonna go there. So we're just gonna hang out at home.
Yeah.
We're gonna do our normal day stuff.
But we'll,
We didn't even buy the things.
I might try to pick some up if I get into town today, just so we can actually see it. If not, I got a welding helmet.
No, those don't work. They've put out a warning, don't use welding helmets. They do not protect your eyes.
I don't know. Protects it from welding.
But not from an eclipse. I did see that. You know, I'm right. Look how dark we got.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, have an amazing day. Thanks for coming. Share it out. And yeah, we appreciate every one of you. So thank you so much. And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.